Good good morning and good evening to everyone. And still people are joining. And I think we will go ahead with uh, our prayer and then presentation of the question and answer because we are already late by 1 or 2 minutes. May I request Philip or Daisy to say a short prayer?
Okay. Shall we pray?
Yes, please.
Oh God, our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this wonderful time of gathering. We thank Thee for the opportunity which Thou hast given us to learn. Help us to understand the subject that we have got to learn today. We place everybody into Thy hands. Give us enough knowledge and memory and to serve ourselves with the knowledge which we get. We trust in You, we believe in You, and we also thank for Dr. Thomas, who is helping us with the present knowledge of the psychology. Help us to gain wisdom and knowledge. Thank Thee for hearing our prayer. In and through the worthy and sweet name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Daisy, for that short prayer.
Welcome.
Now we will go ahead with answer to the questions. Still, people are joining. I asked some people to present. I think they are not at here. So, Ringo, could you please go ahead and give the answer, please?
Yes, sir. So the first question was, what are some warning signs of suicide? My answer is some common warning signs of suicide include talking about wanting to die or feeling hopeless, uh, expressing that they are a burden to others or that life has no purpose. Next is withdrawing from family, friends, or social activities. Sudden changes in mood, behavior, or personality. The next is giving away personal belongings or saying goodbye to loved ones, or increased use of alcohol or drugs, changes in sleeping or eating habits, loss of interest in activities they once enjoyed, engaging in risky or self destructive behaviors, or looking for ways to harm themselves or talking about suicide. If someone shows these warning signs, it is important to take them seriously, listen with compassion, encourage them to seek professional help, and involve trusted family members or emergency services if there is an immediate risk. Uh, the second question was, suppose you or someone close to you become very depressed, sad, lonely, lose hope, rejected by friends and relatives, in agony or in similar conditions, what will you do? Please give practical suggestions. Mm, my answer was, if someone close to me become very depressed, lonely, hopeless, or overwhelmed, I would take the situation seriously and not ignore it. First, I would talk to someone I trust, such as a family member, close friend, pastor, or counselor, instead of trying to handle everything alone. I would encourage the person to seek professional help from a psychologist, psychiatrist, or counselor if needed. I would make sure they are not isolated by checking on them regularly, spending time with them, and listening without judgment or criticizing. If they expressed suicidal thoughts or showed warning signs, I would stay with them, remove any means of self harm if possible, and seek immediate professional or emergency help. From a spiritual perspective, I would pray with them if they are willing, encourage them with hope from scriptures, and involve supportive church members who are compassionate and understanding. I would also encourage daily habits such as getting enough sleep, eating nutritious meals, exercising, and spending time outdoors, as these can support recovery. Most importantly, I would remind them that they are loved, valued, and that help is available. With the right support, treatment, and hope, recovery is possible. Yeah. That's
Thank you very much, Ringo, for that beautiful answer. Is Ugochiko Ozigbo, are you ready to give the answer, please? Ugochiko or Estela, is anybody is willing to give the answer?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Doc. Can you hear me?
Okay, can you
Yes.
give the answer, please?
Can you hear me, Doc?
Is the
Hello.
phone
Hello.
okay?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good evening. Good morning, everybody.
okay. Can you give the answer, please?
Okay, sir. Let
Okay,
me
go ahead.
go on. Okay, the question. The question is: suppose what are some warning signs of suicide? Suppose you or someone close to you become very depressed, sad, lonely, lost hope, rejected by friends and relatives, in agony, or in similar conditions. What will you do? Please give practical suggestions. So my answer is as follows. Warning signs of suicide. Some common signals include: one, talking about wanting to die or kill oneself; two, expressing hopelessness, feeling trapped or being a burden; three, withdrawing from friends, family or activities; four, extreme mood swings, sudden calmness after deep depression can also be a sign; five, increased use of alcohol or drugs; six, giving away possessions or saying goodbye in unusual ways; seven, changes in sleep or eating patterns; and the last one, neglecting personal care or responsibilities. Practical steps: someone or me, if someone close to me or I is struggling, one, reach out immediately. That is, I'll talk to someone I trust, a friend, family member, mentor, or counselor. Two, if I feel unsafe, I could call a suicide prevention helpline in my country, Nigeria, for instance, right away. I could encourage, I will also encourage professional help. For instance, a therapist, doctor, or mental health professional can also provide structured support. If it's someone else, gently suggest they see a professional and also offer them help to find someone. Three, stay connected. Isolation makes things worse. Make plans to spend time with supportive people. And also, if you are supporting someone, check in regularly. Even small messages or views or visits rather matter. Four, remove immediate dangers. If someone is at risk, try to limit access to harmful means, for instance, like medications, sharp objects, or firearms. Five, practice self-care. For instance, sleep, nutrition, and physical activity can stabilize mood. Also, mindfulness, journaling, or prayer can help manage overwhelming feelings. The next line: don't carry it alone. Support someone in crisis. Make sure you also have support for yourself as well. And also, the last, depression and suicidal thoughts can make it feel like there's no way forward, but these feelings are not permanent. With help, people do recover and rediscover hope. The most practical step is not to face it alone. Connection is the strongest antidote to despair. Thank you.
Thank you, Gochiko. And as you all know that we are in different countries, different continents, and that's why sometimes the uh, communication become difficult and the internet problem. Ogyochiko, his mother, I think his uncle, Dr. Ike, his wife, Dr. Chinola, they all join very faithfully uh, or in all the classes. Um, I really appreciate the answers given by all of you. I think maybe the way I put the question was little difficult. It should have been 2 questions. If something happens to you in your life, how will you handle it? And only very few people answered. If you look at my comments, that is something which we have to think, because we all are very good in helping other people. But when it comes to own life, that is where many of us fail. Is anybody want to add anything to it? What we have already discussed? Anybody?
Yes,
Anybody
Dr.
can?
Yes, Dr. Thomas. Like, I think the last question on the last question. I think, no, let me answer. It says, if a family or a person in your immediate family, among friends, church, community, needed help today, what would, I think you wanted to say, would they know where to start? Not after a crisis, not after months of struggling today. I don't know. Can I answer that?
Yes, please.
Okay, sir. So, I mean, it's like for many people, the honest answer is no. Even if they care deeply about someone, they often don't know where to begin before a situation becomes a crisis. People may notice that someone is withdrawing, anxious, overwhelmed, or losing hope, but they may not know what happened. I mean, what help is available, or how to approach the conversation. So a good place to start today is to have a simple plan. Number one, know who you can talk to, a trusted members, close friends, faith leaders, or other supportive people. Number two, know the local resources, a primary care doctor, mental health professionals, community counseling services, or support group. Three, be willing to ask and listen. Sometimes the first step is simply asking, how are you really doing? And listening without judgment. Number four, don't wait for things to get worse. Seeking help early can often prevent problems from becoming more severe. Number five, if someone is in immediate danger of harming themselves or others, contact emergency services or a local crisis service right away. And then for churches and community groups, it can be valuable to ask, do our members know whom to call for emotional, mental, spiritual, or practical support? Do we have a list of trusted local counselors, healthcare providers, and community resources? Are our leaders trained to recognize when someone needs professional help in addition to spiritual care? A healthy community doesn't wait for a crisis to build connections and make resources known. It prepares in advance so that when someone reaches out, the first step is already clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Obi, for that beautiful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Let me add a few things. What Obi has said, there are 2 points. Number one, actually, yeah, maybe 2 points. We don't have time to go into details of everything. Number one is many people don't know where to begin. And the point which she made, and all the other people, Ringo and Ochigbo, are very valid. People should know where to go. See, one of the problems which I have seen throughout my life, in my professional life, many people come to me or they go to any professional, just like any medical profession even. Initial stages may be more easy to handle. Once it becomes complicated, or it passed from one stage to another, second stage, third stage. Anybody who understands cancer or many other diseases, we know there are stages. Once we cross a certain stage, it's very hard. Recently, I was discussing with some people about this particular subject. Many people don't know where to go, how to begin. And the second point is the leaders should be trained not only in theology, yes, I'm talking of churches, because many pastors, clergy, preachers have confessed to me, we never learned, we don't know how to handle this problem. It's a terrible situation. That is why I encourage the training institute, the Bible colleges, and the clergy training sessions. This should be one subject. And another point which all of you have mentioned about the warning sign. I'll give you an example. Recently I heard, I don't know the details, one person killed himself and the wife is in coma somewhere in the world because of some family dispute. What I heard from people is this particular person went to the parents, hugged them, and said goodbye. And he came. The story, the news says he attacked his wife. The wife is in coma now. And he killed himself. Can it be preventable? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the story. But the one warning sign was when he unusually said goodbye to the parents in a very emotional way. That could have alerted. I'm only saying from the news. So that is it. And the question number 2, there are 2 items. Maybe I should have made it into two questions rather than one. Almost all of you, and somehow rewrote and sent it to me. If something happens to you, it can happen to me, it can happen to you. How will you face it? We are all good in helping other people. The most effective way to manage our own problems, I am sure almost all of you, including me, we went through a lot of crises in life. A lot of crises. One of the reasons people commit suicide is the fear of rejection, which I will discuss later on. Rejection from the family, rejection from the from the community, from the church. We will handle that little later on. Number one, we all have to do is define what is the problem we are facing. Define. In other words, why and what happened. Because when the problem happened, we become very stressful. We don't know what to do. There are many people who write to me, talk to me, saying, I'm very much stressed. I don't know. Recently, somebody texted me, whom I am helping, and that person said, I don't know how to handle what is going to happen after a few days. I cannot go into details. My reply to that person is, take it easy. As much as possible, close the mouth. Don't react. So define what is the problem. Second thing is, because I'm answering the question and answer now, then we will go into other part of the class, because this is very important. We have to sort out the things, what is in our control, what is not in our control. In other words, we cannot control what other people do, but we can control our reactions. So, sort out between the two, what I can control, what I cannot control. Of course, when it comes to mental illness, sometimes or most of the time, our mind may not be working properly. It's all clouded, confused. That's a different area altogether. I'm talking of in a normal situation, like a family dispute, dispute with the children, dispute with the neighbor. So identify what I can control, what I cannot control. If we cannot control a situation, we have to learn to accept that situation. Why we want to kill ourselves for it? Because other people are not in our control. They have their own way of life. And thirdly, write down, if possible, the solutions. Number one, number two, number three. You know why I say write down? Rewrite? Because that will give us some time to think. Because many times the suicide happen because they are emotionally stirred up and make a harsh decision. Write it down. Think it over. Write it down. Think it over. If I do this, can I come out of this? If I do this, can I come out of it? And fourthly, take one step at a time. One step at a time. Don't try to solve all the problem what happened to your life. If it is a financial, let me see what I can do at this moment. I am sure when Ochikbo was telling, he used the word mindfulness. Can somebody tell me what you understand by the word mindfulness? Anybody has any idea? Maybe I have to take a class on it sometime later on. It's a common subject in the field of psychology and counseling. So we will just touch on it today. Maybe I'll take a detailed class later on. What is mindfulness? Go ahead. You can answer, please. There is no right and wrong. We are here to learn.
Is the practice of intentionally paying attention to the present moment with openness and without immediately judging what you notice.
Oh, Obi sister, you should go for psychology. You should go and get a PhD, okay?
I will try, sir.
All right. That's a good answer. That's a summary answer. So in other words, think of the present moment. Because when you study psychology and counseling, this word is very commonly used. Unfortunately, many people who hear and discuss, they don't know really the meaning behind it. Mindfulness. It's a commonly practiced. So in short, I promise I'll take a class on it later on. Think of the present moment. I think, so somebody has, please. Okay. And then the fifth point is, be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself. Some of you may think, oh, people may think something wrong with me. Let them think. You go to your garden and talk to yourself as you are talking to your friend, because that will relieve your pain a lot. Because one of the problem when this problem happens is we are ashamed of ourselves. As I told you 1 or 2 classes back, guilt and shame is a big area. We'll be taking 1 or 2 classes on that, guilt and shame. That is where the suicide happens in many cases, guilt and shame. So talk to yourself. People going through personal hurdles, they have to reframe their mental approach. In other words, they should learn how to think differently. What all happened in the past, it happened. Like you are having a problem with your husband or wife or one of your church member, anything, they have to learn to approach the problem differently and ask questions to themselves. How it matters, what it matters. Tomorrow, what will happen? That will help you to reframe your problem. And coming back to what I have discussed about talking to yourself, this is a very important subject. I encourage people, especially if you are in a normal way depressed. I'm not talking of chronic depression, which need professional help. Like, for example, when the weather patterns change, especially in the cold season, especially when rain continues. We can say it blues. Everybody go through it. Sometimes talk to even inanimate objects. An inanimate object is any non-living thing that lacks the characteristic of a living thing. Some of you may wonder why I'm saying this, but I'm telling it from my experience dealing with the problem. Even talk to everyday items like your smartphone, laptop, car keys, and pens to take your thought away. Even the chair, a desk, and a couch. Even the nature, mountains, cloud, rock. All what I am telling is, let your mind be free. Don't dwell on the problem. Of course, you can. Once I saw a lady keep hugging and kissing a pet, a dog. And she was divorced. I personally felt very bad. But that person said, this is what giving me comfort in my loneliness, in my terrible situation. And that time, I think divorce was not final. So talk to someone somewhere. When I was learning public speaking, one other thing I will never forget what my teacher has taught me, because I grew up in a suburban area where there was a lot of coconut trees. You know what the teacher told me? Go to your farm, think coconut trees, ask the people in front of you and talk to them. So there is nothing wrong in it. And also, lastly, in that section, we have to set boundaries. We should not be taking other people's problem into our life and meditate on it and kill ourselves. Especially when it comes to a lot of family problems. If the husband has a problem which you cannot handle it, you can try to help. You must help. Offer help. Seek assistance. There's nothing wrong in it. But don't kill yourself over it. Don't kill yourself over it. Don't get depressed and get bedridden because of it. So, with that, we will close the question and answer section. So, in summary, if you have a problem, deal with it. Now, continuation of what we have discussed last time, listening, some of the tips which we can have it. I think we discussed up to don't talk to people about the right and wrong of the suicide, because it will not enter into their mind. You are only aggravating it. Be empathetic. put them in, you put yourself in their shoes. I like to spend 2-3 minutes on it. Let me ask you one question, and anybody can answer. It's a serious question. When somebody share a problem with you, do you really understand what they are talking to and what they are going through? Please be honest. Because we usually say we understand. Then I'll give you some examples, okay? Can somebody answer that? Do we really understand the depth of somebody else's problem? Don't be shy.
Sir,
You can answer, please.
okay. Sir, if we have gone through that same problem, to an extent, we may understand the problem of the other person. But if we haven't gone through that problem, it is difficult to understand them.
Correct, correct. Anybody else want that? Thank you very much, Jensen. Thank you very much for that beautiful answer. Anybody else?
Yes, Dr. Thomas.
Yes, please.
I do believe that we say that as compensatory word. Most times we really don't understand. But one thing is for sure, when someone I do believe in if someone requests my audience and asks me like they're going through stuff and tell me their problem, I do believe that that person, the thing must be deep enough for the person to tell me about that problem. And to say I understand it, I might just be lying, but I do know that it's something that is really born from very deep part of the person's heart. So the answer is that I don't think you will ever understand, but you have an idea of what the person is going through.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, for quite some time, as I'm getting older, I was considering, I don't know whether that will be a possibility. I want to write even a book on this. I don't know whether that will happen. At least I want to write few articles and publish it. This is a very, very crucial, important point. Just to console the other person, we say we understand the problem. I was talking to somebody yesterday. That person went through, I must use the word hell in their life. Hell. I know this person for the last 25 years, maybe 27 years. And that person told me so many times. Once a while we talk. He said, except you, Dr. Thomas, I don't think anybody understood my problem and the pain. And recently that person said, I went to some meditations. I'm talking of a problem which that person went through for years. And that person moved on with life. And somebody who gave the trouble died and gone. So even yesterday, this person was telling me, people don't understand. some time back. It was last year or 2 years back. I was telling a problem to someone. And the answer which I got was, forget and move on. I felt so bad. Because I expected a different answer from that people. So this is what is happening to the whole world. So in closing with that subject, I think what Jensen and Peter has said, unless you go through that situation, it is extremely difficult to understand unless you are a very well experienced, professionally qualified, handles hundreds and hundreds of cases. Yes, then we can understand because we hear this story from so many people. So please, if somebody tell you and me a problem, please don't dismiss it. Please don't say, forget and move on. The problem is they cannot forget. And that is where our gift of counseling and studies have to come. And then when we ask questions, always ask open-ended questions. Don't simply put them into a tight corner. Give me yes or no. That's in exam. But when we deal with the people in pain, don't ask just yes and no question. Maybe at times it is okay. Give them option. When I do counseling, I usually ask them what they think they can tell me how to resolve the problem. So ask open-ended question so that they'll be able to open up more. And another good practice, even though very few of you may get a professional degree to do all these things, but even in your layman work, ministry, or whatever you call it, when somebody tell you something, I often do that. After I hear, I summarize everything and I tell them, this is what I understand. This is what I heard from you, so that there is no confusion. And I often said, maybe in the class also, what we tell other people, we only know the meaning. The hearer can take any number of meanings from it, which you may have never even thought of it. So always summarize and clarify what the other person said. Let them feel we are here for them. And one more important thing, please don't tell, forget it and move on. Many people have told me, many people have complaints about their relatives and their church people. When I am coming to you with a problem, you are asking me to forget and move on when I cannot move on. That is why I'm coming to you. You have to help me to move on. We may never forget some things happen to our life. So don't tell, forget and move on. Help me to move on. Stand with me. Help me to move on. Also, when somebody tells you something, your body language should be appropriate. For example, if somebody is telling a serious problem, when I do a lot of counseling through the phone, nowadays through Zoom and everything, if my phone rings, I usually take it, but I tell them in advance, I may take the phone so that they don't get offended. Or if I take it, I apologize, take it, say, I'll call you back. Because I take phone anytime if people call me. Because we don't know what the person on the other side want to say. That's because of my professional ethics, which I practiced for many years. I take the phone if I can. So body language, what we do when somebody is telling us is very important. Suppose you close and listen, tell them, this is what I am doing it. I'm just closing my eyes and listening. I don't advise you to close it, but some people do that. It's okay. Let the other person know I am interested in you. Since most of you are active in the churches, let me tell you one thing. We are our brother's keeper. We are our brother's keeper. And lastly, in that area, don't give them a mental illness diagnosis. Oh, is it because of this? Even I myself is very careful. Or because I have seen many people say, oh, you have depression, or you have this problem, because they hear all these words in internet and books and everything, then they go ahead and diagnose the people. Please don't do it. And then what you can do is, if somebody comes to you with a terrible problem, and if you suspect that person can be suicidal, you have to develop a safety plan immediately.
Mama.
And then proceed with it. We already discussed some of these things. And if certain cases, like in a psychology practice or counseling, something called duty to warn. If somebody says, I'm going to kill my wife, you don't need to keep quiet. You can warn the person. You have a duty to warn. So if somebody tells you, then you have to plan it accordingly. And also, please encourage people for professional help. You remember I told you 2 weeks back, somebody said, if I had a rope, I will kill myself. Immediately I acted. I said, either you can come with me to the hospital, or I'm going to call 911, the police. Because there is no if and but there. Because that person has said clearly, I have an intention. So I have to act. And then You all should have the numbers and details of professional people in your area. I encourage all the community centers, all the churches, all the clergy, all the preachers, all the leaders. You should have a list of items. Where to seek help. You know, I work with an international organization, like for example, say Red Cross, as a volunteer. We have a list of available help because certain times we cannot help due to limitations, due to rules and regulations. So we have, I think I may have around about 10 organizations and the names and the phone numbers. I'm ready to help them in that way. And also one other important point. Never, I use the word never again, never agree to keep a failed suicidal attempt or suicidal plans a secret. Suppose somebody tell you, I tried to kill myself last month. You are not supposed to keep quiet. You have to plan something, talk to them and make a plan to help that person because you have to save that person's life. You can involve that person. That's where you have to act wisely. And in certain cases, you have to breach the confidentiality of that person. Suppose I said their person is telling, I am going to kill my wife. I am going to kill my husband. Or I am planning to kill myself today. You must help rather than keeping it always with you. And always keep the person who come to you for help with respect and honestly. Let me tell you this one. It is better for them to get angry with us rather than see them dead in few hours. I did it. In certain cases, the family got so angry with me. Not one case, not two cases, not three cases, because of the stigma associated with the suicide and mental illness. They don't want to say it, but they prefer, even though they don't say it, the person dead rather than go to a hospital. No, let us not agree for that. We won't be able to finish it today, but before I close, let me touch on one subject, then we close it. One of the biggest struggle which many people face and many people commit suicide because they lack acceptance by their own family, church, neighborhood. Because when they are lonely and going through terrible situations, for example, let me tell you, divorce. It's a big no-no in many communities. Yesterday, somebody was talking to me about it. Now, please listen this very carefully. I am not advocating divorce. I want people to live together happily. Is it better to live or is it better to die? Just ask this question. I will use an example. Suppose my hand or leg is caught up in a trap, say a big metal, and there is no way that metal can be removed. But if the people leave me there under that heavy weight, with my leg and hand trapped, I'm going to die there. But if somebody say, let us cut his hand and free him, if I am able, I will tell them, cut my hand. Because it is better than me dying there than living with one hand. I hope and pray that you understand what I am talking. That is where the mercy, the compassion of our spirituality has to come. We got only just 1 or 2 minutes more. Acceptance by the people is very important. As I studied many suicidal cases as much as I can, because one difficulty with suicide is we have no way of interviewing them or talking to them, people who enter their life. But circumstances, the family members, very often what I heard from them is that person felt humiliated. Like the case which I was telling, because of a marital problem, that person decided to kill himself and die. There are so many cases happening like that. You know why? If they get a divorce, they are kicked out from the church. And some churches even refuse to, or many of the churches refuse to give them Holy Communion. They are becoming isolated. So they decide it is better for me to die rather than living in pain. I will give you one example, then we will close it. Sometime back when I was visiting a country for some program in a foreign country. So some of them said about a similar problem. And one party, I don't want to say man or a woman, went for an extramarital relationship and left this person. And that person was very active in the church. But the moment the other person left, this person became the target of attack by many people. The church got divided. That person was kicked out from the profession what he was doing. and the church decided, church means at least some people, influential people said, he can sit in the back bench. He cannot take part in the Holy Communion. He cannot take part in any ministry. He cannot do anything. If he wants, he can come sit in the last bench or last chair. So people ask me, Dr. Thomas, what we should do, because we are divided. I simply asked them one question. What did he do wrong? Because that person was suicidal also. Because he told people he may die. Because he wanted to avoid the humiliation which he is going through. Let me shorten it because our time is limited. We have to end it. One question I asked. What would have Jesus done to that person if Jesus was on the earth and come to that church as a member or as a leader? So we are going to end the class today. And thank you very much. We'll continue the 25th session next week. We are almost crossing the halfway through. We have so many other subjects to cover. I'm going to close the recording now, and maybe you can stay for 1 or 2 minutes, please.